What's going on, everybody? This is your guy, Willie Cunningham, and I'm back again with another podcast. Wanted to talk to you about something very serious. What are you willing to die for? Now, as a man, I believe that there has to be something in your life that you stand for that no matter what, nobody can break you from. Nobody can tear you from that. There has to be something about you that you believe in, that you would physically fight for and die for. You have to have that as a man. For some men, it's your very masculinity. I would definitely die for that. I would physically fight for the right to keep my masculinity, to keep my status as a man that loves women. Now, people, the media, different kind of propaganda can show you different things, influence you in different ways. But I'm a grown man. I've been loving women since I was 4 years old. That's facts. My little sisters had Barbie dolls I used to hug and kiss on when I was a kid. They were the my size Barbie dolls, if any of y'all are old enough to remember that. I was hugged up and kissed up on those Barbie dolls as a kid. I knew back then that, yeah, girls was the way to go. So that's where I'm at with mine. Like I just said, some men, like me, would fight and they would die for the right to call themselves a man in a society where it seems like it's counterintuitive. And this is not a hate speech. If you're into that, do your thing. But whatever you do, don't try to drag don't try to drag anybody into it that's not into it. And that's my issue. Not to get off the subject too much, but when somebody believes in something, when as long as it's not illegal, immoral, but then there's that line between what do you call moral and immoral nowadays. But let's just keep it on the legal level. Don't do things that's obviously illegal and then say, yeah, I'm going to fight for it because I want to do it. Like pedophiles. Oh, they love young girls. They just don't, they're not attracted to women their own age. Nah, none of that. I'm saying, you know, some men, they would fight for their right to call themselves a fan of a certain sport or a team or a famous quarterback, or they're diehard Michael Jordan fans or whatever. And they would physically fight you if you argued that anybody else was better, like LeBron is better. They would physically fight you if you tried to debate them on that. For some, it's their religion, their spiritual beliefs. Another thing I die for is my family. My right and responsibility and duty as a man to protect my family. But my thing is, if the criminals of the world mean you harm, don't you think it's time for men to strap up, to lace up our boots, throw your black hoodie on, throw your gear on, and put some work in to protect your family? You know, the little ones that snuggled up nice and warm in bed, and your wife that have no business out here getting raw, getting physical with anybody over anything. I'm coming at you raw today because stuff like this is real and it happens. Kids aren't even safe going to elementary school anymore, to daycare, because you got some crazy psycho criminal with murderous tendencies going out, killing people for no reason. High school students. You can go to a public facility anywhere, the mall, a park, Walmart, and people are ready to do you harm. This is why I believe men have to have the ability and they have to have that mindset that we're going to start being providers, protectors. Whenever my wife and I go anywhere, I always make sure that we go together. If we have an errand to run, I always make sure that we have to go together. With the exception of like going to pick up food, maybe, and one of us may not be like getting out of the car. I might make an exception for that, but even then, it's still iffy. And I'm not even gonna say I'm not trying to make this podcast to scare you. I am trying to make it so you can think about it, be more aware of the realities of what's happening. So I am trying to scare you, but I'm not. I'm not trying to scare you and say or convince you not to ever leave your house again, to stay in boarded up with the windows blacked out and all that. I'm not saying do that. I'm just saying that if the criminals, they have their objective is to go cause destruction, cause mayhem, cause disarray, why are we not equipping ourselves with that mind that we have to be tactical? We have to be aware of everything going on around us. There was who was it? I think it was Chris Rock, or one of it was an older comedian, and he just did a stand-up again for the first time in years. And he said, man, stuff is so crazy in the schools when they have the active shooter drill. I remember when they had tornado drills and earthquake drills and stuff like that in school. Times has changed so much, they actually have active shooter drills in school. But you know what? Hooray for them. I mean, that's good. It's just, that's the reality. But back to what I was saying. He said that when the teachers lead the children in the active shooter drills, now who can tell if the same kid that's going to carry out this potential shooting or terroristic act isn't one of the children that you're teaching the routine to? And the joke was, he said, watch out for the kid that's asking the most questions. Like, so Mrs. Johnson, so you're saying that we're going to assemble here on the northeast corner and we're going to be under our desk, and then you're going to be stationed at the door over here with the security guard outside the door, right? And at what time are we going to do it? And what building are we all going to go to? It was funny because it's true, but it's also sad because you just don't know how true it is. It's the same thing with internal theft when you go to these places of employment. Like, who's better at stealing from you than the ones that know all the codes, that have the keys, that know which cameras work? That's the thief that you don't see coming. So kind of like the video I did a few days ago about being prepared, not making excuses. If the lights go out, yeah, the bill's paid, but did you have the mind to say, okay, let me go buy this backup generator because I know that anything could happen. We still got power lines above ground. They're not buried in the ground, so let me be prepared in that for that reason right there. Because you don't know what could happen. Be prepared. Think about your family and what door you're going to go out of if there's a fire. Yeah, stop, drop, and roll if there's a fire. Get low to the ground. If you have to, bust the window out to get out the window. But think about, doing drills like that. I mean, I'm not really trying to tell you what to do, and don't take this advice as any kind of professional advice. It's just been on my mind really heavy to let you all know, and this is something that I'm going to apply to my life too. I got some measures I have in place for my family, but I want to do more. And I'm letting everybody know that as men, that's our essence. That's who we are naturally, is to be protectors, providers. To go out here and we face the hard things in life, the scary things, if you will. And no, we don't have no fear. But are things scary? Do things make our heart beat? Yeah. But oh no, as men, we gotta be afraid. We gotta be scared a little bit, but then do it anyway. A hero and a coward are exactly the same. They're afraid, but the difference is the hero is the one that's afraid, but he moves anyway. He goes out there and jumps out there to save the day anyway. Because there has to be a hero and there has to be a villain, or the people perish. That's how things fall. That's how stuff hits the fan, because nobody's got the backbone to step up and make that move when the time or the occasion calls for it. Men, let's start being men. Let's start being strong men. Let's be stronger than we were a year ago, a month ago, a week ago. And the way that you face your fears, the way that you get stronger as a man, is you almost have to look for the stuff, the danger, the scary stuff, the boogeyman. We gotta mold ourselves and have the mentality that, oh no, the boogeyman is finna be scared of me. I'm the boogeyman. I'm that dark shadow in the corner that you don't want to approach and you don't want to see me. That's the mentality us men have to have when it comes to what we believe and protecting ourselves and our family. We have to be willing to die for what we believe, resurrect from the dead, and then die again for what we believe. So, if you're a man and you want to do this, put this podcast on repeat. Keep it in the playlist, because this is what we have to do if we're going to call ourselves men. That's why my name is Warrior Will. You got to become a skilled, tactical, experienced, veteran fighter for what you believe. And whether you want to acknowledge it or not, we're all fighting something. There has to be a fight or conflict even if you want to obtain peace. Think about that. Until next time, guys, this is your guy, Willie Cunningham, a.k.a. Warrior Will. Let's get out here and be men, and we're going to continue to fight this good fight. Peace.